Good morning, everyone. It has been a morning already. The edge is here, but we jumped over the edge. And I think we've taught you some of that before. It's that when something really good is getting ready to happen to you, there can
Mhm.
be an edge. And it's like here's this one rock and you're jumping over to this rock, but it gets real windy and rough and stuff on the edge. And you have to go through it. If you
Right.
back up to the backside of the rock and then start over, you still have to go through the edge because that's is it the leeward side of
Yeah,
the rock
yeah,
where
yeah,
the
yeah,
wind and the waves and stuff
yeah.
is. Uh,
It's the thing that's trying to get you to stop and not move forward and progress and grow.
yes.
All of those words.
And it can be a
Yeah.
big edge and it can be a little edge. We
hmm
have just had little edges all morning.
I've had a little edge this
Last night.
morning. Yes. Well, it started last night, but this reaped the benefit, reaped the of it this morning. Anyways, good morning, Carol. How are
Good
you doing?
morning. Good
Let's just say
morning.
hi to
Yeah.
everybody. Welcome to the show.
Yes, yes. Well, and I have a new edge. I have a puppy. It's been years since I have a puppy, and a
Mhm.
little 7-week-old puppy showed up at a friend's house, had been dumped. Now the brother has shown up, caught between two fences, so we're trying to find a home for him. But yeah, it's been years
Right.
since we
Yeah.
raised a puppy. Been years
And
since
just
we've had a dog.
Yeah, and that's us too. So who are you, Carol? Let's start there. Good morning, everybody. Let's start again. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Maven's
Yes.
Motivation.
I'm Carol Henderson with Live by Design.
Ah,
And I forget that we need to introduce ourselves because we do have new listeners. But
yeah.
I help people to circle up and make their life better and not be afraid of the edge. That's one
Mhm.
thing to don't be afraid of the edge. It is a
Right.
good thing. It may
Yeah.
not be fun going through it, but it's a good thing. And you just
It's a
have to
good thing.
forge on and jump to that next rock, which is amazing. Uh,
Right. Right.
but that's what I do. I work with people, spirit, soul, and body to be healthier and be able to face those challenges in life.
Mhm.
And I'm
Mhm.
here with my wonderful co-host, Miss Barbara Ellison.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, welcome to the show. Exactly. Yeah, I'm a transformational life trainer, and I'm on a mission to make happiness the norm rather than the exception. Because I just really believe that each and every one of us deserves to, and it's one of God's blessings to us that we're to live happy, healthy, debt-free, and abundant lives, to be the best version of us, no matter what that is, whether that's in our personal identity and development, in our health and well-being, or in our financial stability. And those are the things that we need and deserve to have to lead a thriving lifestyle.
And those are all three equally important.
They're all
You've
important.
seen people who are way out of balance.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
the term used to be they're so godly minded, they're of no earthly good.
Good.
No, they're just totally in there and they have no practical. But then
Right.
there's those people with common sense and practical lives that don't know God.
Right.
And then there's those
Exactly.
people that are so emotional that they can't do either one
That right.
because they're just
Exactly.
drama queens waiting for the next act to open in their
Yeah.
show.
Exactly. Exactly. And so, and so that's kind of where we come in, and where, God has called us to just bring us to moments of, transformation, moments of being, learning, of acknowledging, of implementing. And so one of the things that we thought we would talk about today is, what's integrity? What does integrity mean to you? And how does it show up in our lives? And for me, integrity always just kind of I always thought of it as, what are we doing of being honest and having strong moral principles and, living by the word of God. Well, that comes in all sorts of degrees, and some people have a lot of it, some people have none, and you just kind of wonder, how are they living? And yet there's a place for all of us, but we can all learn.
And we can all do
And
better.
and we can all do better.
I have
Yeah.
I have a story on that. Y'all know that we've been having the fires here in Texas.
Yeah.
Uh, the outpouring of people
Yeah.
helping and such as that. It's been over 2 weeks now. Actually, 2 full weeks tomorrow. The fire started today, but jumped the river and really started tomorrow. And we've had firemen and EMTs and stuff up here. Went to dinner last night, ran into a group of probably 30 EMTs that have been here since the beginning, and they're going home today. So they're from San Antonio. That's quite a ways away. It's about
Right.
10 hours from here.
Right.
Excuse me,
Right.
minimum. But on a personal level, I was going through getting things out, and I thought, okay, here's a bunch of towels that you get those nice towels, and you think, I'm going to use those someday, and you put them back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was pulling out things. I thought, well, I really like these. They'd fit in my kitchen now. I do need some new towels. So I was going to put them back for me. I had 2 packages like that and a whole bunch of packages of other stuff. And I went down and I got there, and when I went to wash my towels, I didn't have the one package of new towels. And I'm like, what happened to that? And I thought, I bet I gave them to the CCS, that community connection, whatever. And I thought, well, I've given them, they're gone. Well, I was up there doing some other stuff and I saw my towels. I'm going, these, I didn't mean to give these. And so I took them back. And I have just been hounded about that last all weekend because they were
Mm-hmm.
closed over the weekend, and that happened on Friday. I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. I had given freely and
Mm-hmm.
with a happy heart. And I thought
Yeah.
that was just dog dirty of me to do
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And
Yeah,
it's kind of like, it's the give and take. And it's that being truthful, and you're owning up to it and being transparent in our actions,
yeah,
because we all do things that's like, oh, brother, I can't believe I just did that.
yeah.
You
I'm
know?
gonna go take them back today and own up and say, I shouldn't have done that. Here they are back.
Yeah, so it's
But
like,
I mean,
but
that is just, just a little, and it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't like
no,
I didn't steal $1 million.
no,
We're all called up at different levels. And none of us are there yet. The perfect won't be here till Jesus is here.
right. And I think that it's standing up for what you think is right. It's not always what's easy. Like the times that I have had to say, look I am so sorry I did this or didn't do.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes it's what
Omission and
we
commission are
don't
equally,
do.
yeah.
And yet there is now no condemnation. So we can't beat ourselves up for everything. Otherwise we would live constantly
Well, and
in,
there's a difference,
but there's a
the devil
difference.
condemns and he's going, you
Right.
did that. And nine
Yeah.
times out of 10, he won't tell you what you did, what
Right.
he's
You
saying
just
is,
have that feeling of
you
guilt.
did that and it was wrong. And you go, what did I do? And you go, he goes, you know what it was.
Mm, yeah.
You know. But God goes, hey, you said you gave that. It was an accident, but you
Yeah.
gave it. You can't take
Right.
it back.
Can't
I
take them back.
can take it back, but I choose to not take it back. And so
Yeah.
that's the difference. It's a condemnation as opposed to conviction.
Right.
There's a
Exactly.
difference. Figure out where it's coming from
Yeah. I
because
mean, and I think one of the things for me is just taking responsibility for my actions,
yeah,
good or bad.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, I did that. These are the consequences,
yeah.
and owning up to it. Like you and I have talked so many times about, if you mess up, fess up, but then go on.
Yeah.
You know,
In fact,
and
I
and
think,
and
didn't we do a class on that? Mess up?
we have done, yes, we've got a couple of things in the works of, messing up and fessing up, because so often people don't do it until they are absolutely caught doing it.
Yeah. And some people don't fess up even after they're caught.
And even, yeah, And right.
We've got a
And
lot of
so,
that going on right now.
and there's a lot of that going on right now. So what can it mean on a little practical level? What can we do to display integrity? Well, just, be dependable.
And honor your word.
Honor
And
your word.
basically, my word was, here's a gift.
Yeah.
And then I took part of it back.
And took
Now it was
part of it back.
a minute, it was a penny out of, 100, say,
Yeah.
so it's not something that was a big deal, but I did give.
Right.
And I gave with an open hand and then
Yeah.
went back and went, "Ooh, I still want that."
I still want, right. And even, right, exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing. I think it's when it's challenging, that's when we have to really, when it's a challenge for us. And I'm going to share this morning. This morning, like right now, I'm reading the book, The Slight Edge,
My favorite.
loving the book.
Mhm.
However, this morning, when my alarm went off and I was lying in bed, and it was like, this was totally a slight edge morning. Did I want to get up? Let me tell you, no. I did not want to get up and do my morning. Like, I don't exercise in the morning. I do morning movement. I have taken the word exercise out of my vocabulary because for me, it just made me, it's like, I don't want to exercise, but I do want to have a body that moves freely and well. And so consequently, guess what? In the morning, I got to stretch and, do some movement to get my body going. And most of the time it's like, yeah, I'm doing it. And I'm feeling good. This morning, it was like, I'm doing this, but I'm doing it under protest.
But you'll feel so much better for the rest of the
But
day.
because I did it, I of course now I was probably a good 5 or 6 or 7 minutes into it, because I do like a whole routine. I was probably 5 or 6 or 7 minutes into it, going, all right, Barbara, let's change our attitude here. I mean,
It is a choice.
and
It
it
is a
is a
choice.
choice.
No one can make you mad. No one
No,
can make you sad.
yeah,
That's your choice.
it's a
And
choice.
you can choose to do it. And what is it they say, that 90% of a problem is your choice.
Right.
10% is what happened.
Is what actually happened.
Yeah.
And the decision that we made, just on Saturday, I got to go. I have not gone to visit a friend of mine, Mary. She's like a little over an hour or so away, and the weather has been bad, schedule has been just crazy, all sorts of things. I just hadn't seen her in a couple of months, which is unusual for me. Anyways, but Saturday morning, it was a beautiful day here, and took a ride and said, okay, I'm going up to Mary's. Well, thinking about the book and the things that we're called to do, and being in integrity and listening to our gut. When you have an inclination to do something, do it or not do it, whichever side it's on. Anyway, so there was me just having a country road. I'm practically the only one on the road. And it was like, well, Barb, you need to do a Facebook Live about what you're doing and what you're learning and what you're reading in The Slight Edge. And I was like, what? I'm driving. And guess what? Right in that moment, I had the choice. And so then, of course, the Facebook Live I did was all about everything in our lives with a thought to do something or to not do something. Everything starts with a thought. And we are not responsible for those thoughts that come into our head. We are not responsible for them. They can come from our past. They can come from our saboteurs. I'm a positive intelligence coach, and they can come from anywhere. They can come as a worry. They can come as a content, has a whatever. We're not responsible for what comes in. We are responsible for what we do with them.
Yes. Yeah. The
We are
Bible says,
responsible for
take
what
every thought
thought
captive.
captive. Exactly. So we are responsible. So that's when that thought came in, that really, am I going to do a Facebook Live? I can't see what I'm doing. I can't see to start it. Well, then of course there was a red light. I said, okay, well, I guess I am, and just started. And then I couldn't find the finish button. but I still did it. The thing is, because that was the inclination. And so often that's where a slight edge comes in. It wasn't right at that moment. It wasn't really conducive for me to do a Facebook Live. And yet that was what came out of my mouth, is that everything starts with a thought, and we are responsible for what we do with each one of our thoughts. We can choose, which is what we've talked about, which is where integrity comes in. We can choose to honor the thought, or then it was like, if it's a negative thought and it's a condemnation thought and it's how could you do that thought? Okay, take that one captive too. Don't listen to those.
No.
Because
If it's
those are
saying that you
destructive.
can't and you shouldn't,
Yeah.
check and see if it's God. But 9 times out of 10, can't
It's just
support another
saboteurs.
word. In my dictionary, can't is a cuss word.
It is.
So people say, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't,
Right.
it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, it may
exactly.
not be beneficial. It may not be what
Right.
I'm being told to do, but I can do anything.
Everything. Right.
I might
And
not
that's
could lift a ton with one hand, but I can lift a
right.
50-pound bag of grain and put it in bins for my chickens.
Right. Yeah.
Now, most people my age, my size could not do
Right.
something like that. And I do
Right.
it on a regular basis.
Yeah, exactly. So that's all we're talking about, is just do the things that you can do, and then go on.
Well, and I always
If
say,
you really find that you are physically unable to do something, that's a different story. But
right,
do the little
do what
pieces,
you can. Yeah.
do what you can. And
Do the natural, and let God put his super with it.
into the
Whether it
supernatural,
whether
right?
it's a Facebook Live or it's
Right,
a bag of grain, you do what
right,
you can and he will help you.
right,
He
exactly.
will help you.
Yeah. And and start with small. Like I've just taken up really getting much more consistent about going swimming. And I mean, the first day that I went to this 75-foot pool, I mean, I made it to the other end, but I was like, I was so out of breath. But now I can do the length of the pool in one breath. One breath, I can do the length of the pool. But it didn't start out that way. And I can't just hop in and do it right away. I have to swim around and warm up and get going, and
And next
I
thing you'll see her in the Olympics.
yeah, no. Uh although, but you know what? Don't say, okay, take the words in my mouth that you did not hear me say, oh no, that would never happen. You know what? If you are called to do something, you will find the way to do it, the strength to do it, the motivation to do it, the people to help you do it.
Yeah. And we have a friend that does
And
open
does
water swimming.
yeah.
Uh,
And didn't she swim from San Francisco to Alcatraz?
I think so. I
I
think
think she
she's
did
done
that.
some
Open
pretty
water swimming.
pretty hefty open water swimming, and is she in her
50s.
60s or 70s?
Oh, I think she's in her late 50s.
Late,
She started in her 50s.
yeah.
She
I'm
only
not sure
started
if she
open water
started at
swimming.
60 yet, but yeah, yeah. She,
And
I mean, you don't think of people that are over 30 or 40 doing something like that.
taking up something like that.
We have
But we've
several
talked
friends
about
that
it
run
so often.
marathons. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We've talked about it so often, of just age is a number on a calendar or on a piece of paper. And one of the things, the other day, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said, you know what, for those of us that are already in the wellness space, they are telling us that they are with the technology, like the liposome technology and all. And if you want to know about liposome, reach out to us and we'll tell you what it is. But it's all about how your body absorbs nutrition. Anyways, but they're saying that those of us that are in the wellness space, that we are hearing about all the science, all the technology that is just absolutely coming forward, that they're going to double the age expectancy by 2035. That's only 12 years away? So those of us that are already here, the lifespan right now is 72. That means if they double it, with all of these technologies and all of the advancements in nutrition and elite nutrition, that yike, we're going to be able to be able to live to 140. So I
But the
figured, so I
Bible
have now,
promises 120.
and we've been promised
You know?
120.
Yeah.
So I figure I am just barely now into middle age,
Yes.
barely into middle
My
age.
mother always said life begins at 40.
Life begins at 40. Right. I think, although I think it was George Burns that said life begins when the mortgage is paid off, when your last child graduates from college and the dog dies.
Well, I'm going to tell something my husband said just yesterday. He said, I thought at my age I was winding down, going to just enjoy my golden years. He said, and here we are, we've been planting trees. We have a puppy.
Yeah,
He goes, this is not how I saw my life at this age.
exactly. And so that comes right back to what we were just talking about. Age is a number. In integrity, do what you can do. Take responsibility for what you can do. Take responsibility for what you can't do. And if there is something that you right now physically can't do and you want to do it, start doing it
Yeah.
one step at a time.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you're never going to be able to do it forever. And that is just being consistent in your behavior, aligning your actions
Yeah.
with what do you value? Do you like this morning? I had to think about myself. I value being able to move, have freedom of movement in my body. Well, guess what? So this morning, even though I really did not feel like doing it, I mean, I really didn't feel like doing it. And it would have been just as easy for me to lay in bed and not do it.
Mhm. And that's a choice. Once
And
again,
that was a
it
choice.
all comes down to choice. So I
It comes
guess
down to
even
choice.
more than integrity for
It's
its choice. Uh,
choice.
yeah, you can
Yeah.
choose. You can choose to be integrous, or you
Right.
can choose to let
To,
things slide.
to not, and so even if it's challenging, just do it.
Yeah,
Just do it. Or if it's challenging to not do it, stop doing it.
and get the book, The Slight Edge, because
Get the book this
that's what
Jeff
he
Collins.
talks about. Olson talks about that, and he says
Olson. I
what's
don't keep saying
easy to
Collins. It's
do
Olson.
and it's easy not to do.
Right.
And
And I'm going to tell on me for 1 second. Carol has been saying that. When did you actually read that book? It was years ago. And I think, and Carol's been saying that, what's easy to do, Barb, is really easy to not do. And I always took it in and understood. Well, now that I've read the book, it's like, ooh, that is totally
I
true.
mean, that is a big rock in truth.
Totally true. If it's easy to do. And the thing is that now I have just become so much more aware of the things that I do. Like even my positive intelligence stuff, where it's like to be aware of your body. If you're struggling with something, be aware of your body.
Mhm.
Be aware of what's going on in your body. Are you feeling a little ooh, Then if you are, then just be aware of it and go, oh, what can I do to move this?
Yes. Yeah.
Rather than just going, oh, I've got a stiff neck. Well,
Well,
okay,
and
I don't
think
expect you
about
to
it.
exercise it, but
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
moving it.
How many times when you start feeling a little under the weather and
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Okay. And it's like, no, I am not going to be
I'm
sick.
not,
I'm not going to be
not going
unhealthy.
into
And you say, body, get up and get in gear.
get going.
That right there. I mean, sometimes it will still come on, but 9 times out of 10, it'll go away
It'll go away.
because it's your choice
Yeah,
to believe the
right.
sickness.
Right.
And that sounds crazy out there, woo woo, but it's truth.
And I will share one thing, and then we're gonna go because we have a meeting to go to
Yes, we
ourselves.
do.
But you know what? There have been times in the past where I have woken up with a bit of a sore throat and
Yeah, it starts
realized
little bitty.
it was a little bit of a sore throat. And as soon as I went and took a drink of water, it went away.
hmm
Hmm. Hmm. You know,
Dehydration is a big,
dehydration is a huge thing. So anyways, so that's This is Monday. Start your week with integrity,
Yes.
with movement, with dependability, with going
With
through
honor.
the edge and going through with honor. Keep your promises,
Yes.
especially to yourself.
Yes. Oh, yes. If you don't keep your
Especially to
own
yourself.
promises, you start seeing yourself as a liar and you don't
Yeah.
realize it.
Yeah. So
You do.
especially to yourself.
Yes. So with that, if you're on Facebook, please click like and share. And if you're on YouTube, click the little thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when we have a thing coming up. And if you've noticed that on our aging experts, we've missed a couple of weeks, well, had a fire one week going on and we didn't have
No power.
for 4 days. Then this last week, about an hour before time to do our show, we lost our power again. And it came on about 15 minutes after the show would been over. But thankfully we weren't in the middle of the show.
Right.
So, I apologize for it. Mea culpa on not having them, but do tune in. Please share with your friends about it. And just by the way, Barbara and I are New York Times bestseller authors.
Yes. Oh yeah, we forgot about that. We'll have to talk about more about that this week and give you a link.
Yes, next week. Okay.
Next week.
So
anyways,
we
bye everybody. Have a great
y'all.
week.
Thank you. Please tell your friends. Bye.
Bye.